Hello, this is Galen Wixson, President and CEO of the Lubbock Symphony, here for another installment of ClefNotes. Before we get started, I just want to thank Classical 105.7 for hosting us on this wonderful program that we're able to do every week with the Lubbock Symphony and giving you highlights of our season, our programs, and all of the people involved. And today I have a very special guest. We're so proud to welcome Maestro David Cho, who is the music director and conductor of the Lubbock Symphony. David, welcome.
Thank you, Galen, for having me.
Of course. We're so thrilled. We've had a tremendous masterwork season to end our 2024-25 season with the Carmina Burana at Buddy Holly Hall. I would say that might be the largest assemblage of forces on that stage that we have ever seen.
You're absolutely right. We had over 300 moving parts, musicians, singers. It was a spectacle to be observed by many.
If we put on one more drum or cymbal or singer, that the stage might go down an inch or something. It was very, very packed. But the sound that we're able to produce in that hall with that many people was amazing. From the opening chord all the way to the end of Carmina, it was unbelievable.
It was a very special concert.
It was, and congratulations to everybody involved, our soloists, you, and the orchestra, and of course, that amazing chorus that was assembled. So today, we want to kind of unpack the next season coming up. We have an exciting season ahead, from chamber music to pops to, of course, our Masterwork series, and then a very special event that we're creating for the next season. So can we start, David, with just talking about a chamber music event that's happening in September. Our first chamber concert is how we're opening the year. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, we're featuring the music of Tchaikovsky and Mozart. They lived in totally different eras. However, Tchaikovsky was a great admirer of Mozart, and we're performing Mozart's famous G minor symphony, his 40th out of the 41, and Tchaikovsky's String Serenade. And our very own concertmaster, Annie Chalix-Boyle, will be performing a Michael Dougherty concerto for violin and small ensemble.
Very unusual piece for our listeners. I'm not saying that Dougherty is anything but a great composer, but I'm pretty sure folks won't be familiar with this piece.
I think it's a great addition to something familiar, sandwiched in between the two pieces that are most likely to be familiar to everyone.
The String Serenade, if you don't know the name of it, you will certainly know the tunes, because Tchaikovsky has so many great themes in that piece.
Oh, he was truly one of the best melodists.
Oh, seriously. And then, of course, the way he pulls harmony with the strings kind of in these opposing directions, the way he does that is so brilliant. And I just love listening to his music in that regard.
Yeah, I can tell you're in love with that music because Galen is a professionally trained cellist, so
Yeah, it's really
you're biased towards strings. Yeah.
Tchaikovsky.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So much fun. And then this Mozart 40, remind me, is that Jupiter?
No, it's the one before that. So it's the 40th Symphony in G minor.
Okay.
Yeah, Jupiter is the 41st.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so, again, wonderful melodies. If you don't know the piece, you certainly will when you hear it.
Absolutely.
We're very excited about this. This will be on September 19th at the Crickets Theater. So please join us to kick off our season in September. And then in October, at the end of the month for Halloween, we have something very unusual for our folks.
I think this has been a very hot ticket in town. Those of you who attended the Star Wars concert remember seeing the entire Buddy Holly jam-packed with 2,300 people plus standing room only. We anticipate the same result.
That's right. So what we're going to do on Halloween, so it is a movie filled with some peril, but also some funny moments. But we're going to present with the Lubbock Symphony playing the score of John Williams, Jurassic Park, 1992. I'm sorry, I draw a blank on that date, but is in that range of dates, 91 or 92. But the famous movie that kind of kicked off that whole franchise of Jurassic Park And even to this day, it holds its own. It's really great special effects. And the score of John Williams, if you haven't paid attention to that before, most of us, when we see movies, we don't really realize everything that's going on behind in the score. And so I had the opportunity to watch another orchestra performance recently. I was just amazed at some of the chase scenes in that movie and how fast the music goes and how absolutely terrifying it makes the scenes. Without that music, you just wouldn't have that scene.
Yeah, John Williams, he's also great melodist, featuring the brass naturally, however. I mean, he has this knack and talent for enhancing the film.
Right, so this will be on October 31st. You won't want to miss it. We'll have a big, huge screen across the stage over the orchestra. The orchestra is below. David is desperately trying to keep the orchestra in time with the movie. How hard is that?
It's a lot of fun, actually. Most of John Williams' score, fortunately, we don't have to be right on with the screen, what's going on.
There's no matching up with a vocalist or something like
Exactly. Some movies require what's called a click track, where you have to be spot on with a pre-recorded voice track. That would be difficult. However, Jurassic Park and similarly with Star Wars, that would be not necessary.
So you have a little bit of slack in there, and so if you don't end exactly when you're going to be okay.
You can be flexible.
And there's also a few lulls so that the orchestra can catch its breath after some of these terrifying scenes and then get ready for the next one. So again, it's a fascinating process to watch it unfold. And then when you see the performance, you really get lost in the drama of the movie, and you sometimes forget that there's a live orchestra playing below.
That's what we want.
And it's a great experience. So I'm looking forward to seeing this movie October 31st, Buddy Holly Hall. And then we finally have our first Masterworks concert on November 6th. Tell us a little bit about this one. This is a really important concert for us.
Well, the Lubbock Symphony, our mission is to play these blockbusters and staples that have survived decades of time, and Tchaikovsky and Rachmaninoff certainly did that. They are the household names in our symphonic repertoire. We'll be performing Tchaikovsky Symphony No. 1, called Winter Daydreams, and we're pairing that with Rachmaninoff's Piano Concerto No. 2, featuring a Van Cliburn International Competition laureate, Fei Fei.
FEI-FEI.
Correct.
So people are mystified by what you said.
Yes.
And she's genuinely amazing.
Oh, just uber talented. And just the concerto itself sells itself. I mean, it has a long history of how Rachmaninoff came through a bout of depression after his failed attempt to write a symphony. In dedication to his psychiatrist who healed his depression, he dedicated this piano concerto to him. And it's been featured in movies, Hollywood films, you name it. And it's such a hummable tune, such sheer romanticism, and you'll definitely notice it.
And you talk about Tchaikovsky's skill at writing melodies. Rachmaninoff's ability to take a melody and go from, I don't know, he could write a melody for 32 bars, I think. He can just go on and on with this idea, and he just sweeps you and just carries you away. It's quite something.
I like the way you chose the word sweeps, and it really has that romantic sweep. And that is why Hollywood was really delighted to feature so many of Rachmaninoff's melodies from this piano concerto.
And then the Tchaikovsky, I will say, usually when we have a symphony orchestra play Tchaikovsky, it's 4, 5, or 6, those symphonies. This one's number 1. Why number 1?
Well, the early Tchaikovsky symphonies are really classical in a way that is more transparent, and it has more folklore, in my opinion. And it's similar to playing music from the age of enlightenment, Mozart, Haydn. It's wonderful to start off a symphony season with a very transparent work like Tchaikovsky's Symphony No. 1. Also very melodic and also a lot of fun. I have to say the early Tchaikovsky symphonies are delightful in a way that it is full of dances and more optimistic delight. The later ones are, one of them is titled Pathétique, and it's so intensely romantic, but the early symphonies are really delightful.
Yeah, I would term it as Tchaikovsky still had some sense of light and lightness, and then when you get into those later works, he was getting darker and more ferocious, and frankly, the pieces are really athletic to play. I mean, the orchestra really goes through a lot of just really hard work.
Yeah,
to play those works.
it really does that, yeah. But it's great to pair these two works, Tchaikovsky and Rachmaninoff, for our first masterworks. And moving on to the second one.
That's right. And so Masterworks 2, we will be performing, one of our favorite violinists to ever come to Lubbock. I'm going to let you say the name.
Ji-yeon Kim. She's a world-renowned violinist of South Korean heritage. So am I. And she'll be performing Lalo Symphonie Espagnole.
Fantastic piece. And she has a recording of this piece, and I will say it's one of the better recordings of Lalo.
Oh, yeah.
It's a tremendous recording, and she did such a great job. It's been a long time since she recorded it, but she still plays just, par excellence. I mean, she's just an amazing musician.
And because it's called Symphonie Espagnole, it doesn't mean it was written by a Spanish composer. Lalo was actually a French composer, and this was a Frenchman's view of Spanish heritage. And the first part of the concert will be featuring Manuel de Falla's Three-Cornered Hat, along with Marquez Danzón No. 2, two of the very well-known repertoire in the Latino symphonic music.
Yeah, this is a great concert. Well themed. I think it's just well rounded. I'm really in love with this program, and so I'm looking forward to hearing Chi-yeon and the orchestra playing the Lalo and the Defy Three-Cornered Hat. So many great rhythmic devices are used, and all the rhythm and and instruments. So we're just so excited to have this piece. So this concert will be on January 24th of 2026. Chi-yeon is our guest artist, again at Buddy Holly Hall. Moving on to Masterworks 3, this will be on February 28th, the last day of February of 2026. We will have the Lubbock Chorale once again with us on stage, and they're performing a very important work.
Yes, it's a seminal work by Johannes Brahms, and he kept a very special relationship with human voice. And the German Requiem, it used to be called the Human Requiem. And we may have heard, a lot of you have probably heard a couple of the movements from the Requiem as you attend the local church. In the services, many of these movements would be played. And we'll perform the entire Requiem, and featuring the Lubbock Chorale and 2 guest soloists to be announced. And we'll open the program with a contemporary of Johannes Brahms, Robert Schumann. His very virtuosic, very short, but like an opener, overture, scherzo, and finale.
I think it's a great pairing with Brahms and Schumann. Probably a lot of your listeners know, but many wouldn't, that Brahms actually lived in the Schumann household when Robert was quite sick, and he helped take care of Clara and the family while Schumann was convalescing with mental illness. And it's a touching story, one that we certainly don't have a lot of letters or writing about that time in their lives, but obviously it had a deep impact on both those families. So that's an important sort of background story. When we get into the German Requiem itself, I mean, what what sort of always gets to me is how Brahms writes these soaring melodies above that pulsing rhythm of the orchestra itself. And it's very moving. It's a very moving effect. So I'm really looking forward to this too.
Yes.
This again will be on February 28th, 2026. We have one more concert in the 2024-25 season to look for, and that is on June 7th with The Concert, a tribute to ABBA. And we'll do that in Buddy Holly Hall starting at 7:30. Last time, to get tickets, visit the website, lubbocksymphony.org, or call us 806-762-1688. I'm Galen Wixson with David Chubb. Thank you so much.
Thank you.